Welcome to Conversational Currency. We are the fastest growing talk show that explores the value and importance of social skills for business in a digital era, told through the lens of today's business and thought leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, communication is a superpower. And I want you to think about the timeline of your life's journey. And if you were able to say the right words in the right moments, and to every man or woman in a business setting, imagine what your quality of life would be. And in today's conversation, we can go into many different topics in terms of whether it's messaging or credibility, but I can't do that on my own. So who I have for this conversation is someone who is well-renowned, respected, and an authority in this space. So please, Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got to this conversation.
Oh my goodness. I'll give you the short version. Hi, I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me. And I love the what you're bringing through in terms of the importance and value of communication and how we show up. So I always say that who we are speaks so loudly we can't hear the words that you're saying. You know, who you are. That's an Emerson quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I love what you're bringing through. So thank you for having me. How I got here was a lifelong journey of feeling called to share something big and also being really overcome with fear around sharing it, around being highly visible. And of course, I've decided to become a professional performer because I had that calling. But it was a long journey of really releasing and healing fears and blocks around being seen and heard. And the training as a performer and my own experience finding and freeing my own voice and message has led me today to be really dedicated. My purpose-led vision is about helping other thought leaders and entrepreneurs and people who have that called feeling to fully self-express so that they can enroll and connect and make a really big difference in the world. So that's what I'm up to. That's the short version.
Well, that is the story, and she is sticking to it, ladies and gentlemen. So, Michelle, when we talk about calling and we talk about our talents, I believe that entrepreneurship is the biggest self-help vehicle that exists, in that when you're building a company, your core values often, let's say, bleed through to your employees, to how you communicate to the world. For the men and women who are launching companies and running companies who are completely unaware of this, can you please share how that messaging and how you communicate actually makes an impact that they may not realize?
Yeah, so that's a great, big, yummy, juicy question. Take a bite out of it. So there's many different things that we're communicating, right? So I work with a lot of people on communicating the marketing message, right? How do we talk about what we do in a way that conveys both the value of what we bring, but also has that resonance for our ideal audience, our clients, so people who need and who are looking for what we're bringing through. And then there's, of course, building a company, there's how you're communicating the values to your team and your vendors and the people that you're collaborating with. So which one would you like me to dive into first?
Well, let's talk about the individual first.
Yeah. So I love what you said about the entrepreneurship as a vehicle for self-improvement or self-development. I believe that for those who do feel called, that there's something bigger at work. It's coming through you. It's not of you. And expressing that, the highest level, the natural expansion, we're here to expand and be bigger and be bolder and to take up more space and make a bigger difference. And the highest expression of that is to say, business, this is a business. I'm going to reach and serve more people as I grow a business. And so I love the way you framed that. It's super powerful. So how does that emerging business owner, creator, hone into their message, share their message in an authentic way? Is that what I'm asking? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to stay focused. I can get off onto big tangent ideas. So the first thing we have to do, I think, and that's what we're cooking up in this free training that we're going to tell folks about, is that we have to get really crystal clear on what is our unique secret sauce. What is that thing about us that, and we have to own it and embody it, about our message that is unique, because every voice is unique. Every physical voice, every message is unique. There's no one in the world who's going to bring it together the way you can, or you will. And so that if you are often we'll say, if I'm bringing this business, I can have little demons of don't, little doubt demons that say, well, somebody else is already doing it better, or who am I to say that I'm a leader in this industry, or all of those kind of, that's the personal development you're talking about, right? So when we can really own and recognize the way that our experiences, our perspective, the books we've read, the courses we've taken, the challenges we've overcome, and how that comes together to boils down into our voice, our message, then it is, we're doing that personal evaluation, right? We're taking stock, taking an honest inventory rather than an inventory that's driven by our insecurity or uncertainty or self-doubt, right? We're really like, wait a minute, I've done all these things. Nobody else has done the same combination of things. No one else has had the same thoughts. No one else has the exact same ideas, even when you hear other people who might be on your theme. So I would say the first thing we want to do is to really do whatever it takes to own and embody that message. Really trust yourself, right? Trust yourself.
Now, for those of you who are tuning in, you are watching Conversational Currency, and we are discussing the art of messaging, authenticity, and how to show up in the world with the Michelle Kopper. Now, when we talk about social media, specifically, let's go into YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It is very easy for people to look at videos of other entrepreneurs and what they may have done to arrive to this point. So they're watching a video and they don't see the journey, the heartbreaks, the setbacks that have arrived to that point. When we talk about the unique to you formula that's necessary to stand out from the crowd, can you please explain or give your insight on the imposter syndrome or trying on someone else's journey versus developing your own?
Yeah. So I think of it like comparing my insides to other people's outsides, right? And a lot of times we feel like, especially when we're being visible on video or going live streaming, we feel like we have to do it right or get it in a certain way. And we also feel like it's a really heightened experience. The camera really does magnify everything. So we see other people who show us their A-reel, right? They're especially on YouTube, if they're editing footage and pulling footage together versus live stream, we can, that's why movie stars are always beautiful, right? There's tricks of the trade that help us to do that, and those are great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we compare somebody who's way ahead of us and who maybe has all those bells and whistles happening, or isn't is not sharing, is not really revealing the journey and the warts and all. You'll see more people now, I think, who talk about, hey, look, it wasn't perfect, right? And I would say that if you're wanting to get started and you want to have a consistency on social media, and consistency with video is the most powerful thing about it. If you really show up and show up again, you're going to get better at it. It's going to get easier, especially if you have tools and support to help you figure out what to say and learn some tricks of the trade. But your vulnerability around it, that's why I love live streaming so much, because it's less perfectionistic, so that you have an actual opportunity, even if it's not all perfect and put together. People, especially now, believe you. There's an organic trust and authenticity that happens when you are live and you are revealing the vulnerability and not doing it perfectly. Often, I was a stage performer for many years and a performer as a musician for many years. And it's the mistakes, it's the do-overs that really people are like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I heard it again and again. And you'll see it when you watch live performance, and you'll say, oh my gosh, something other crazy awesome ended up happening, or she actually let herself stop and start the song over, right? And it's like a glimpse into it's a way to increase your access and connection with your audience.
Very, very important insight. This is great. Now, when we talk about the world as a whole, where during this time it's necessary to amplify your signal or amplify your humanity to your audience. And many people are hiding, or they're holding back that which is their unique gift and their message. How can the viewers, the audience, increase their presence and increase how they show up so that people can know, like, trust, and since we are in business, ultimately buy
stuff? Yeah. So first of all, I think that a lot of times, especially when it comes to visibility and being seen, the most, I said it already, the most important thing you can do is consistency. So I like to think of visibility and marketing and messaging as a practice, like a yoga practice or a meditation practice. It's something that you come to the mat with it. Like I was a yogi. I taught yoga decades ago, and it's just like, bring it forward. So there's a consistency piece is very, very powerful. But now a lot of people, especially other visibility experts or camera or video experts, they'll say, just go do 20 lives and then tell me if it feels scary anymore. And that can be powerful. But if there's a real charge or a real vulnerability around it, it can also, feeling like you should just do it can often feed the resistance so that it makes it harder and harder to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that having, first of all, tools and a safe container for the people who are really scared. I mean, I have myself as one of them. Nobody believes it anymore, but really I was that just holding back, and my whole body would betray me. My mouth would go dry, the words would fly out of my head, my throat would close off. I literally couldn't make sounds. So I get that. And a lot of people who feel called to share something big have some level of that. 75% of the people in the world have some fear around public speaking, right? So when we have that, we want to find mentorship or community that allows you to cultivate that daring, right? We want to cultivate the audacity to step in. And I think that there's a certain way that people can be held to do that rather than just go do it. Just go do it. Sometimes wears us down or makes the resistance and the fear bigger. There was something else I was going to say, and I don't know if I can remember it, but I think it'll come back in if we keep going.
Yes. And when we talk about community and we talk about mentorship, I often use the following analogy. I would never jump out of a plane on my own, but if I'm with a group of friends, I'd go skydiving. Can you share the benefits, the beauty of diving into such a vulnerable place, such as visibility in a supported community?
Yeah, well, we want to be intentional about that community, right? So when we're looking for that unconditional, non-judgmental place, and this is the space that I think it makes the video training and programs that I do unique, is that we are able to, I call my methodology is called transformative witnessing. So there's a way that we witness, and you want to be witnessed by what Julia Cameron from the Artist Way would call believing mirrors, right? We want to be seen by people who can recognize our greatness, maybe even more than us, right? People who can see who we are no matter what we say, and help us to have that physical experience of expansion. Jumping out of an airplane is a great analogy. And, I was thinking of, I have friends who have done it yet. I have said that if I was put in the situation, I would do it, but I don't really, it's not a bucket list thing for me. But they actually, you know, when you're strapped to the person, they hold your head and they have you look up and then you jump out. And having a business mentor who can help you do the same thing, who you trust, who gives you that feeling of, oh, I can do it like that. That feels true. That doesn't feel salesy. Oh my gosh, that's, you make it seem so simple. And then you go out and do it with that kind of, I think, lavish support. Well, another thing I remember what I was going to say, that vulnerability around visibility, we often feel it and then we make it wrong. We immediately go, you just need to man up, right? You just need to make yourself do it. What is, because we immediately judge ourselves for being somehow ridiculous. It's just a video. What's wrong with me, right? So what we need, I often say that self-forgiveness and self-love are way more powerful than self-doubt. And so being in that, we want to start the transformation around visibility. This is why entrepreneurship is a journey of personal expansion, right? The transformation around stepping into that is really powerful.
Absolutely. And I knew that the golden nugget of information was going to come through the flow of conversation at some point. But what you've shared so far has been extremely valuable. Now,
Thank you. Good.
I'm a lightning rod for my audience right now. So there are people right now who understand the value of showing up. They understand the value that they have a message, they have an audience, they have a tribe that they've yet to connect to, but the fire within is burning to make that connection. So the fire needs to light the lamps around that particular village. But they are in the airplane and they're alone and they want to make the leap, but they need the community in order to do so. Can you please share the challenge that you've developed and how it can serve and support those who want to take the next step?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. This is a challenge that we've run, I guess, about 4 times, and the transformation is palpable. We only run it once or twice a year, and it is because, well, as you said, I think of business is a creative act. It's an act of creativity. And I often cut off my business self because I was just a creative in my past. So realizing that we're creating business, we're creating impact, and it's all a creative act. And creativity thrives in collaboration. Right. And when we witness other people being bold or brave or doing something new or jumping out of an airplane, we are lifted up to that level of courage and audacity and daring with them. And then as we do that thing that's vulnerable, visible, and daring, and we say to those, we start to shine that light and that spark as leader. I'm going to do this visibility thing in this way, for example, videos or going live, so that those people, those sparks that are out there will benefit. And as I lift my own courage and visibility and vibration, just by doing that, I'm helping those people that are waiting for me to lift theirs, right? Rising tide raises all boats, and rising energy, confidence, presence, daring also brings people with it. So when we see, that's what I love about this challenge is people having discoveries and realizing their value. And oh my gosh, I realized this whole thing. We've got some of the testimonials from the past challenges of some of the takeaways that people have gotten in just a few minutes a day over a week. It's really powerful. So everyone's there taking the same. So for years, Shadid, I had a teaching studio in Manhattan and in Portland, Oregon, about a decade each. So for 20 years plus, I was helping people to be confident in front of others, often through singing. And the magic that happens when somebody does something that's bizarrely out of their comfort zone, but they know that they're safe and that they're seen and that they're loved and that their value is inherently witnessed, is it's goosebumps all day long. It's massively transformative. So we're doing that space. And there were times when I didn't know if we could do that kind of transformation online, especially, like in a Facebook group. And I see it happen again and again. And that's where we all need to be so highly visible now. So I'm very excited to run it again. It's an opportunity to show up and post, and sometimes even just making a post on social media is vulnerable, right? And I've had lots of people go through the challenge and privately say, this is great, but they still were working their way toward that visibility online. So it's a powerful, it's really my favorite. I have a couple different challenges. This is really one of my favorites because it speaks to that. And by being there and by being inspired by other people's ahas and discoveries, you're going to be more emboldened and empowered to keep expanding on in your own right. And then that is going to absolutely ripple out to your audience waiting for you. Yeah. When you show up and shine that light, they will find you. The rest of it is like learning skills and tools and tips and tricks of the trade. And how do I talk to them and how do I find that words? But this challenge is really building that foundation of really owning your message.
Ladies and gentlemen, your message, your mission is your calling. It is what you are here to do. And when value is clear, decisions are easy. So what you share, when it's able to be articulated from the depths of your soul and expressed, people have no choice but to either say that is for me or that is for someone that I love. And you have the ability in a supported community from someone who has taken people who have raw talent and shaped their creativity for over 20 years to teach you the creative aspects as well as the business aspects in terms of your message and how it applies to leads, sales, building a tribe, subscribers, and all the essential foundational elements that are needed to grow your business, especially during this time where video is now the primary means to deliver your message. The Visibility Power Up Challenge is available free of charge. It's complimentary, meaning it has value, but it is being offered in a complimentary way by going to bit.ly/Power Up Challenge 2020. Again, that is bit.ly/Power Up Challenge 2020. The link will also be in the description. Any final thoughts in terms of the challenge and what you're excited about in terms of what you will be sharing with those who take the next step?
Well, what's coming through right now for me is that little nudge, that desire, that thing that you feel called to share is real. It matters. It's true, and you can trust it. And it is worthy of all the attention, of time and investment that you ever choose to make to help you get it out there, right? And it is a worthy idea, and it is more expansive. It is more powerful to have the community and the collaboration to bring it forward than it is to try and figure it out on your own or piece it together from little bits here and there, or kind of keep it in your world and hold back and play small with it until it's ready. So this challenge will help you get ready. And we've got other trainings coming up after after this challenge to help you really start to know how to confidently share that message out. Once you have really honed and connected to the value of it, we have more stuff in store for you to help get it out there, and even to help you get going live on video if you're not already doing that, or to be consistent with it, or to be also consistently getting enrollment and engagement and connection. So turning those followers and fans into clients as well. So we got lots of good stuff coming up, and it's my pleasure and privilege to share it with you and have you come join us.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have resonated with conversational currency or any of the workshops, events, and content that I've shared over a 22-year career, it is for one reason. All I'm doing is sharing the journey of a man who has found his purpose and what he was called to do, for better or worse. So as I learn, you learn. As I fail and stumble, you get the lessons. And as I succeed, oh yes, you get to take part in the celebration. But somewhere along the line, I had to figure out what my calling was. And I also had to figure out how to get out of my own way to express that calling, no matter if people disagreed with it, or how to articulate it and for it to be greater than that which I thought was possible. I cannot go inside myself and extract what I was able to do because it's so personal to me. But Michelle has dedicated 20 years in helping people extract the greatness that lies within them. So if you respect my work, then you have the opportunity to join the Visibility Power Up Challenge so that you can find your genius and your talents and express your gifts to the world in the same way that my work resonates with you. Your next step is to take the link bit.ly/Power Up Challenge 2020 and learn what your gift is and what you were called to do. On behalf of the Michelle Kopper, I am Shadidi Laser, and you've been watching Conversational Currency. Now, we are the fastest growing talk show that focuses on the value and importance of social skills for business in a digital era, told through the lens of today's business and thought leaders. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. And for that, guess what? We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks so much.